Alright, I got this question from a guy who's living here in Japan, and I really want to help. I want to help these people out who have just come to Japan because I know you're like in this panic state. So this is from Damon. He says, "I'm an American who lives in Minami Ibaraki. I'm not sure where that is. Is that Ibaraki or Ibaragi Prefecture? My question is, I'm trying to desperately learn Japanese. I have tried Rosetta Stone a few times, and I just can't get it to sink in. Any suggestions of other ways to learn?" Okay, I think that when you're studying with Rosetta Stone or you're just studying by yourself, you're not in a survival mode. And I've noticed that the things I remember the easiest are when they had some dramatic emotional impact associated with them. Like, for example, I told a story about how I wanted to change my flat tire, and there was I felt a great sense of frustration that I couldn't say something so simple. So I really remembered that Japanese after I learned it because it was associated with an emotional event. To answer your question in an easier way, I think the best way to learn Japanese is get a Japanese girlfriend or a playmate, whatever you want, or if you're gay, get a boyfriend, whatever. I mean, but the point is, you got to get with somebody who, there's no bullshit barriers about these, like, because Japanese, they have these kind of fake friendships where, yeah, I'll teach you Japanese and you teach me English, and they're not real friendships. Get somebody you can really get close to. That's what I did. I had a Japanese girlfriend a long time ago, and when I first came here, and she didn't want to speak English, she wanted to speak Japanese with me, and my Japanese level was so low, like even after spending an hour with her, I would just be exhausted because everything she said I pretty much didn't understand. But I learned so much from her. The great thing about that girlfriend, and not only her, but I've met a lot of Japanese women, some guys, but mostly women, who are just very patient. They don't mind if you don't understand Japanese, and they're just very patient. And I can't say the same thing about Americans. Like, Americans are like, if you don't understand English, you're an idiot. I don't want to talk to you. But no, there's Japanese people out there that are very patient. So if you can find a girlfriend like that or a boyfriend who's just really patient and willing to help you learn the language, that is the best way to learn. And the way that ties into what I was saying before with how you remember things that you have an emotional attachment to. Well, if you're just studying on the computer or on your desk, it's very cerebral study. But when you are making a connection with somebody and having experiences with them, you're making an emotional connection. And I think that's what makes the difference between being able to remember Japanese and not being able to remember Japanese. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents. And Damon, I hope you can find somebody who you can interact with and who will patiently help you learn Japanese. Good luck, buddy.